Hello everyone. You probably don't know this based on this channel, but I love Minecraft. Like, really love it. It's arguably one of the greatest games of all time, and for good reason too, just out of the sheer number of things you can do in the game. And all that's always increasing with new updates Minecraft's always putting out. Now, admittedly, some of these are good, some of these are bad, but either way, I always get really excited for some of these. I'm always really interested in seeing the new stuff they add. So imagine my excitement when they announced the Caves and Cliffs update back during Minecraft Live of 2020. Oh, how young and so whatever. But along with one of the things announced for this update, initially announced at least, was the Warden, one of Minecraft's scariest mobs, and arguably the scariest. Considering technically Herobrine isn't official, but he still exists, and you can't tell me otherwise. But this is a blind mob that relies purely on sound to find you, and one-shot you no matter what. It's super... I was super excited for it, and everyone else clearly was too. As everyone made all kinds of memes, comparing this guy to other fictional characters in horror who have similar mechanics. Like the figure from Doors, Shrek, which Minecraft themselves officially refer to the Warden as Shrek, and the Quiet Place monsters, and blind people. Okay. I love my offensive memes, but come on, that one's just wrong. So it's worth knowing that none of these memes are mine. I stole them from other people by accident. So, but it's for the video, okay? But one character, I'm surprised I saw no one compare this guy to, was Springtrap from Five Nights at Freddy's. And it's weird. Sure, Springtrap's not blind, but he has a lot of other similarities to the Warden, like the sound thing, and they even look kind of similar. And then I started to dig just a little bit deeper, and I realized, wait a minute, these two characters could potentially be the same character. I know it's about to sound completely insane, and don't worry, not even I really believe it that much, but there's still some interesting similarities, and a lot of things here that really make these two seem like they're the same character. So, that is what I shall set out and do today. Prove to you that these two are the same. Starting with the visual similarities. Yes, I'm going to structure this similarly to my Angry Birds and FNAF are the same video theory. Because A, it's also a crossover theory. B, I like that style of comparison. Oh, get right into it. Starting with, first of all, they just look kind of similar to one another in general. But more importantly, the coloring. Now, I understand that Springtrap is clearly green and the Warden is blue. But blue is in between green and purple. And, yeah, that's pretty much what Springtrap is right there. Purple man inside of a green suit. Combined to make blue. It makes sense. And also, I want to pay attention to the antenna on the Warden. It kinda looks like bunny ears in a way, but it more so does in the concept art. Yes, I understand that these are meant to be antenna, like on a bug, but tell me that doesn't look just a little bit like bunny ears, especially the middle one. Also, they both have a lot of bones in here. You can see this clearly on the Warden's arm, and chest, and even on his legs. And as you can see on Springtrap, he too has a lot of bone, especially in the arm, and also his forehead. I don't know how I didn't mention that. And most importantly of all, the souls inside of the Warden's chest. Notice how there appear to be 4 or 5 of them, give or take. Clearly, a reference to the missing children's incident. Okay, maybe not, but still. It's amazing how similar they are. There's also some gameplay similarities between the two. Of course, there's the aforementioned sound thing, where you use sounds to distract the Warden, as well as Springtrap in not only FNAF 3, but also FNAF 6. Now, one of the more interesting quirks of the Warden is that it's immune to fire and lava damage. Now, this wouldn't make a whole lot of sense, and I see why Mojang did this, to make it a harder boss to discourage players from killing it. But fire and lava is interesting, considering we know William survived, at least if the theory is true. He survived at least 2 fires so far. I don't think he'd have much of an effect on any other. Plus, it's worth knowing that every other mob immune to fire in the game comes from the Nether. And considering Ultimate Custom Night is essentially hell, then yeah, that makes sense. I really just came up with that now, by the way. And finally, and most interesting of all, the Warden definitely has a heartbeat. It's very clearly heard. But one heartbeat that isn't as clearly heard is during Scrap Trap's solving section in Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. It's very quiet, but it is there. And it's honestly pretty spooky. And finally, miscellaneous similarities, aka the reason why this video got out so late today. Because I literally thought of these in the shower. Like these 2 specific pieces of evidence. Specifically. Yeah, this theory's kind of been in the works for a while. First of all, Mojang themselves have confirmed that the Warden is at least somewhat inspired by the monster at the end of Disc 11. Okay, what does that have to do with Five Nights at Freddy's? Well, after thinking about Disc 11 for a little bit, I realized how similar it is to the Follow Me minigames. Okay, hear me out. Disc 11 is about a player mining in a cave. They pull out their map and a foot in steel, presumably to see the map, until a monster shows up and chases them. And when they reach them, the disc ends. And in Follow Me, the animatronics roam around the pizzeria until they get to a point where they have to check their map and see, hey, wait a minute, I can't go there. Then the monster shows up and destroys them. It's a bit of a stretch. Admittedly, the part that they both don't include a Follow Me part to them, but I still think it's pretty darn similar. And probably a coincidence, considering Disc 11 is way older than Follow Me, kinda. But next piece of evidence is interesting. You see, the Warden lives in the ancient city, a place buried deep underground, which not only has redstone circuits underneath the center, but Skulk is also commonly used in redstone. It's similar to the sister location bunker, which is also deep underground and contains a lot of animatronics and technology. It's also worth noting that the ancient city is almost always found underneath mountain biomes, similar to how sister location bunker is most likely located underneath William's own home, which rests at the top of a hill, kinda. So, with all that being said, how can we be sure this means Springtrap's Warden? I mean, they're still from very different universes. Well, I think the answer lies in Ultimate Custom Night. Because you see, this game, it has a lot of ties to FNAF World. And I think these two directly show how William got to Minecraft. Okay, not really, but you'll see what I mean soon. Enemies from FNAF World that can enter your office in Ultimate Custom Night. Those enemies being the White Rabbit, Tangle, and Bounce Pop. Interestingly, 2 of them are from the Pinwheel Funhouse, and 1 of them's from the Raspberry Hills, which is kind of weird, but let's not get into that right now. It's not part of the theory, just something I wanted to point out for later. For you guys, I guess. But also, Old Man Consequences and his lake both make direct appearances in Ultimate Custom Night. So yeah, these 2 games are connected. But how? Well, in this theory, which by the way I've decided to start calling Angry Parallel, since keep going with these weird names for FNAF theories, I may as well call this one, give this one a weird name. Angry Parallel, I kinda like it. But, yeah. In this video, I figured out that FNAF World is all a game, and it's actually part of a larger game series, all connected through the Halloween backstage. And so you see, I think the link between the 2 is that Ultimate Custom Night, just like FNAF World, is all a game. Now, I do understand the Fazbear Fright story, The Man in Room 1280, does imply that Custom Night is actually all some sort of coma dream induced by the vengeful spirit. However, if that's the case, I don't think a lot of the nightmare animatronics would talk about how they're really real and can really kill him and stuff like that. Now, granted, they could be saying that just to throw him off, make him think it's a real place so that he doesn't try and escape. But if that were the case anyway, I think the vengeful spirit would just immediately put him back to sleep if he ever woke up, so it's not like it would matter too much. And Nightmarion's whole thing about it isn't a nightmare I can't wake up from, the guy is literally called Nightmarion. It's a play on words. I don't think it's too important. Still, I won't deny what the random theory suggests, but there's still evidence towards my theory as well. And like I said, I don't fully believe this either. This is partially a joke, but you can't deny there is some good evidence here. Now, as I've stated prior, the Halloween backstage is a connection between all of these different games and stuff. There's a portal link to FNAF World and portals link to every other game as well. Meaning at some point after FNAF World Update 2 is when Ultimate Custom was created and just became another one of these games within the massive group of games made by the developer. But hold on. How will you get access to Minecraft if this man never made Minecraft? At least, we don't think he did. Well, I had a little thought. And this is where things start to get a bit stretchy, but I think you might be able to see where my thought process is here. You see, both FNAF World and Ultimate Custom Night, as I mentioned prior, you can access Old Man Consequences Lake. And, of course, drown in it. And when doing so, one of 2 things will happen. In FNAF World, you end up just constantly falling down forever until you end up in Happiest Day World, which is 2 or 3 people watching a flashing screen of colors together. And in Ultimate Custom Night, your game just crashes. That's all kind of weird. Why does this happen? Simple. It's because you glitch one final time and access, like, code, the essence of code itself. Like I said, this is definitely a stretch, but hey, I didn't call this series Crazy Theories for nothing. So, here's it all. Here's all that I think happened. After being in 50-20 mode, the vengeful spirit decided to finally move on and leave William alone. I mean, that was their big final challenge after all. But this allowed William to escape to the Halloween backstage. After all, he isn't confined to the game anymore, so he can freely move about now. And eventually, discovers Old Man Consequence's lake, and where he punishes him by throwing him into Minecraft, where he becomes the Warden. But wait a minute, how is this a punishment exactly? Minecraft is the highest selling video game of all time. How? This would be helping him in his quest for getting Remnant and stuff. Well, it's not. You see, if there's one thing Minecraft players like to do, it's farm. Farming mobs for XP, farming iron, and even farming bamboo for, again, XP. So, naturally, when Mojang announces the big new boss that's meant to be unbeatable, the first thing players are think to do is just farm it. Absolutely destroy it. Once and for all. It would be a very fitting punishment for a killer like that. Now, all that's fine and well, but maybe you still don't believe me. Well, lucky for you, I've saved the best piece of evidence for last. You see, Mojang themselves literally confirmed it. Okay, maybe not, but still. You see, Mojang gives names to their bosses sometimes. For example, the Ender Dragon is named Gene. That was too fast. The Ender Dragon is named Gene, and the Wither is named Simmons. And so, in the video titled The Secrets of Minecraft, How We Made the Warden, or something along those lines, they reveal the Warden's real name is William Afton. Thank you everybody so much for watching. This is either one of the most compelling theories you've ever seen, or the newest contender for dumbest FNAF theory ever. Either way, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time where I'm sure I'll come up with a much better theory. Bye-bye!